instant food delivery segment. Many questions were raised about delivery partner safety as well as the 10-minute food delivery.
कॉमर्स के बाद अभी ये क्विक कॉमर्स बूम जो आया है, अब किसी को पता था लास्ट ईयर तक क्विक कॉमर्स का नाम भी नहीं इतना सुना था। अब देख कहाँ पे कितने पैसे उसमें जा रहे हैं।
अभी सब होड़ में लगे हैं। आई थिंक कि क्विक कॉमर्स पे ऑनबोर्ड होना है, स्टार्ट करना है। किसी भी एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे एंट्री मिल जाए विदाउट एक्चुअली थिंकिंग कि वो मेरे लिए इकोनॉमिकली वाइबल है कि नहीं है। रनिंग एड्स ऑन Amazon is different.
And the biggest mistake I would make as a brand is treat it lightly like an Amazon.
So what is the correct way to validate the demand? Because I've seen brands launching the wrong products, especially on platform like Blinkit.
So I would say you can use an intelligence platform like Dcluttr to sort of understand any category. So let's say if I'm looking at a whey protein category.
Misconception, and people don't have that proper understanding that we all have seen e-commerce evolve over the last decade. Flipkart from 2009-10, Amazon from 2013. So my point is, out of Blinkit, Zepto, Instamart, or any other quick commerce if I missed, which channel should start first? Is there a right criteria to decide this? In case they don't have any access to the tool, what I know about Blinkit, there is a section of keyword analytics.
I mean, you're already aware after working with all these brands that quick commerce is a very expensive fulfillment channel, right? It's very difficult to make money. First of all, try to understand like how my particular category is moving in different locations in India. But at this point of time, if I am a small brand, it might not make complete sense for me to support that on quick commerce. If I'm getting that push from the platforms, then I might as well figure out the best way to get the ROI from those spends.
I mean, what exactly is the success ad metric to track on quick commerce, which needs to be tracked daily?
But I would say like as those categories grow, there will definitely be players who will dominate those categories.
Because I divide into two. One is repeatable, the product which consumer needs daily or every month.
So I think it's overall a very operational heavy game wherein all things are related to each other.
Hi everyone, welcome to Add to Cart with Sunny Wadhwani, Season 2, another fresh episode. Thanks for the incredible response over the previous episode, really means a lot. So today, another episode, fresh episode, but in today's one, we'll be talking about one topic which is everywhere, misunderstood, overhyped, trending. It's a part of every brand strategy, LinkedIn post, investor decks, and no one can ignore that. If any meeting is happening of a D2C brand today or even a traditional brand today, then they cannot miss that part, whether in their quarterly meeting, monthly meeting, or even board meetings as well. Yes, I'm talking about quick commerce, the platforms like Blinkit, Zepto, Instamart, and now the e-commerce channels have also entered into this race or war, whatever you talk about, whether that is Amazon now, Flipkart Minutes, and Big Basket as well. So lot has picked up in 2025, and more needs to be talked about honestly on quick commerce challenges, execution, growth, frameworks, strategies, where we have a lot of data, lot of opinions, context on e-commerce point of view, like Amazon, Flipkart. There are a lot of gurus which talk about a lot of these platforms on LinkedIn and all, but there are very few who just give us the actual picture on what exactly is happening in quick commerce and brands actually what do they need to do in 2026. So today joining me is Ritvik Nagpal, founder of Dcluttr, a growth analytics platform which helps all the major D2C brands today make better decisions to grow faster on the quick commerce channels. Ritvik, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Sunny. Really
Yeah.
excited for this one.
Yeah, Ritvik, feel free to add more about yourself.
Yes, so Sunny, I'll just give you a walkthrough of my journey. So I come from an engineering background. Met my co-founder Satvik in NSIT during our computer science engineering. Then did a couple of ventures together in college. Started eventually a growth marketing agency called Super Crew in college. Ran it for a while. Worked with a lot of D2C consumer brands in the space, mostly focusing on Meta ads, Google ads, Shopify, Amazon, Flipkart, like all these e-com channels. Then post college, joined Microsoft as a software engineer. My
Great.
co-founder, he joined Walmart as a software engineer. Then eventually, we decided that we need to continue Super Crew full time. So we left these companies to run the agency for a while we were working very closely with these brands in the e-com space. So worked with 40, 50 odd brands in the space. Then saw the shift happening from e-com to quick com, wherein for some of our customers, quick commerce becoming a bigger channel than their e-com channels. So we saw that shift happening, and we also understood how different quick commerce is from a brand POV,
Right.
in the sense that on an Amazon, you might, want to be available in 4 warehouses wherein they have a huge assortment in each warehouse, and you are done in terms of availability. But in
Right.
quick commerce, like each platform has more than 1,000 dark stores. So essentially across all the platforms, you have close to 8 to 10,000 dark stores on which you have to manage your availability. And then your pricing strategy for different dark stores, different localities in India will be completely different. And
Right.
your
Right.
pricing needs to talk to your availability. Your visibility needs to talk to your availability. Your ad strategy needs to talk to your availability. So we just sort of understood firsthand how complex it is and how different it is for a brand to solve these problems on quick commerce than an Amazon, Flipkart, or other e-com channels. Yeah.
Great to hear that. I think that's what makes
Mm.
this industry more interesting because for platforms like Amazon, everyone knows about Pi, Helium 10. But
Mm.
for quick commerce, good to see that a lot of tools have already come up in 2025, which is helping them with analytics and very important on how competition is taking away my share as well. It's for you, I think, for everyone, if you're building, scaling, or planning to enter into quick commerce, this episode will give you a lot more clarity, and will give you an understanding why brands fail a lot on quick commerce in their initial stage. So, yeah, getting ahead with the very first question, which is misconception, and people don't have that proper understanding that we all have seen e-commerce evolve over the last decade. Flipkart from 2009-10, Amazon from 2013, and then quick commerce pretty much picked up rapidly in 2025 when they opened doors to a lot of mid-sized brands as well. So my question is, how is quick commerce fundamentally different from e-commerce today?
So fundamentally, let's say like if we are solving the first primary problem, which is availability, if I want to solve that problem in an Amazon, it's very different fundamentally because I have to make sure that I'm available in those giant warehouses which
Right.
are covering my delivery for all the pin codes in India. So
Right.
for me as a brand, I have only 4 touch points wherein I need to be available, those 4 warehouses wherein if I am available, then I'll solve my availability problem. But in
Right.
quick commerce, since fundamentally it's hyper local in nature,
Correct.
every dark store is behaving in a different way, and I as a brand need to be available in all those important dark stores for my categories in order to
Right.
solve the availability problem.
Got it.
So suddenly from 4 availability touch points, I have around 8,000 touch points across all the
Right.
platforms wherein I need to solve my availability. So I think that's where it gets very different fundamentally, and then accordingly my pricing strategy, my visibility strategy, my ad strategy needs to be different in all those touch points.
Got it. So how should this, I think the perfect difference, which we also tell to our brands as
Mm.
well when we consult or sit down to them,
Mm.
that's more from a platform overview. Now, when a brand is making a strategy, so how should their strategy on quick commerce should be different from e-commerce? So how would you frame this answer? Will it be the same or different from a brand's point of view?
So depends on the stage at which I am operating. In quick commerce, let's say if I am a new brand, then I would first of all try to understand like how my particular category is moving in different locations in India. And first of all, like different platforms have a different hold in different regions of India. So for example, a Blinkit might have a solid hold in the Delhi NCR region. A
Right.
Zepto and Instamart might have a solid strategy in a solid market share in Bombay and Bangalore. So
Right.
let's say like I need to choose the right platform first of all when I'm trying to make a strategy or get listed on these platforms.
Got it.
Then at a city hyper local level, I need to understand how my particular category is performing right now in terms of how big the market is in that city for that category, which local competition exists in that category in that city, and which products are already selling well, and then also map it to what people are actually looking for, like what is the keyword volume trends of what is the user intent. Maybe are there any micro categories wherein a user is trying to look for something but not getting the right product for that, and then all of this needs to be stitched together in order for me to select the right product and select the right location, right platform for me to get listed.
Interesting part. My next part, which I want to cover, which is again from brand's point of view. I think you would be getting this question regularly because I also get it regularly when we sit down and design their strategy for quick commerce. They're live on Amazon, Flipkart, not coming back to on this what location, what SKUs. So now when they're deciding on the channels, because you also know it's very complex to start on all the quick commerce together unless and until you are a
Mm.
marquee brand. You have a
Yeah.
great team, you have huge inventory. Even if your capital gets blocked, then there wouldn't be, I think, some bad circumstances. So my
Yeah.
point is, out of Blinkit, Zepto, Instamart, or any other quick commerce, if I missed, which channel to start first? Is there a right criteria to decide this?
So I would say from a brand POV, there are multiple factors at play here, and there is no
Okay,
right and wrong answer for this. But I'll just lay
got it.
down all the factors
Perfect.
from which a brand can consider. So I would say, like, as I mentioned, just the location in which, if I have as a brand any priority on which location I want to start with, maybe I have personally a strong presence in Bombay. So in that
Got
case, Bombay is a natural market wherein I want to start with in the quick commerce, because quick commerce is a demand fulfillment channel, right? So if
Mm,
my customers are already looking for my products in Bombay, then Bombay is the right market. And then I will try to look at the platform which has, let's say, a strongest hold in Bombay, and maybe like that's how I would look at it. And then apart from that, also the overall category trends in each city on each platform. So I'll, let's say, like, if I'm trying to launch a whey protein brand, then how is the overall whey protein market in Bombay or whatever city I want to start with? Which are the top products? Are there any regional players? Is the competition intensity higher in any other platform than uh, what's the comparison of competition intensity amongst the platforms? And maybe that's how I want to look at it.
So now when you're saying that, I already know that my market is decent in Mumbai or even Bombay. Uh, how do brands get to know that? Do you mean that when they're selling on Amazon, they're they're checking the backend data as for geography, even on Flipkart? So what is the set procedure or a framework if someone has to decide on it? You mentioned on competition
Mm.
intensity, you
Yeah.
mentioned on trends. How to go about that?
So I would say you can use an intelligence platform like Dcluttr to sort
Okay.
of understand any category. So let's say if I am looking at a whey protein category, how big is the whey protein category pan India?
Mhm.
What is the city wise market size of that category? And what competitions are playing in that category in that city? And what's the revenue of each of the player at a SKU level? And on the basis of that, I can take that.
Got it. So my next part is as in continuing to this, I think when you mention deciding on the right platform and then the right
Mm.
product, usually what I've seen that the selection of SKUs becomes much more important when you launch and go live on quick commerce because
Mm.
not necessarily the your best sellers on Amazon might be best sellers on quick commerce as well. So, how brands decide which SKUs to launch on quick commerce and what is the right criteria to decide on the same?
So I would say, like, there are two broadly important factors apart from the context that a brand already has of their SKUs, which will perform well according to the internal data points. I would try to look at what is already selling on the platform. That is the first factor. By just
Okay,
trying to look at the category, what's the SKU wise revenue in each location and all of that. And second criteria would be what people are potentially already searching for, but maybe not getting the right product for that search result. So
okay,
essentially, like, what's the demand and where there is no supply, but there is a demand for it, and overall, like, what's already selling in that location.
got it. Very important point. I think today in 2026, if we see from the last 6 months, we have seen the inflow of a lot of categories on quick commerce. It started from grocery, and right now the selection is too much multiple or uh, maybe close to I would say even infinite as well. उसमें कोई even fashion has also entered. Fashion again has their own set of challenges and all. So my point is, I also agree that quick commerce is not for all the categories because what I've seen, and I'll give you one example. I had one brand which was into lunch boxes selling at a price of 2,000 rupees. So they onboarded. but their movement of inventory was not much faster, due to which their capital blockage started getting piled up. And they were like कि नहीं यार, इससे better तो मेरे लिए Amazon ही है. Amazon है, Flipkart है, or even my own website as well. So my question is, which brand should avoid quick commerce today in 2026?
Good question. So, to be very honest, I don't think there is any right answer for this. We
Okay.
have, if you look at the historical movement of different categories on quick commerce over the last 2-3 years, we have always been surprised wherein people were initially dismissing quick commerce as just a platform which will support F&B and grocery categories. And now we are seeing luggage categories, we are seeing
Mm.
sexual wellness categories like booming up. Whey protein category is around 80 CR category on quick commerce right now. So we are seeing these categories booming up wherein you would not fundamentally expect maybe 2 years back that these categories would
Correct.
be operating at a scale at which they are operating at right now. So I would say it might not be the right time for a given category at this point of time. For example, if you talk about electronics might not be the best category still for quick commerce, even though we see iPhone and all
Hmm.
getting delivered on Blinkit. I think that's just a marketing stunt as of right
Marketing
now.
stunt. Yeah,
I
correct.
don't think it's at that maturity right now as compared to a Flipkart or an Amazon. But I
Correct.
would say we'll definitely be surprised by the kind of categories which will get adopted in the future. So, as a brand, I need to closely track how these categories are moving on these platforms. Fundamentally, we do believe that eventually every category will figure out a way to be listed on quick commerce. Maybe the delivery times will be different. Maybe for
Will
some
be
categories,
different.
it will be 10 minutes, it will be 30 minutes for some, it will be 2 hours for some. But
Got it.
eventually, we do believe that this is a fundamental shift which will happen in terms of how we shop as consumers, and every category will come to quick commerce.
Got it. Adding one more point into this, or maybe asking you, yes, I completely agree with you that a year back, no one would have thought that apart from groceries, more categories would have picked up as well. Even I had just ordered even dining table cover as well on Amazon now, which got delivered in just 10 minutes. No one thought that, and with few selections as well. So my point is, if a brand has limited budget, limited amount of money, they're already live on Amazon. So for them, would your answer be the same that Sunny, they will have to figure it out because any category will pick up in next 6 months to 12 months? Or if you say that if their capital is limited, if they are into these set of categories, it could be two, three, four, or any, if you want to name it, maybe they can avoid, or maybe they can just start with one or two SKUs to actually see, because करने के बाद ही पता लगेगा, to actually see whether it is getting profitable for them or not.
So definitely, Sunny. I mean, you're already aware after working with all these brands that quick commerce is a very expensive fulfillment channel, right? It's very difficult to make money in quick commerce, even more so for categories wherein there is not enough demand or enough. Maybe on the platform side, the supply chain gaps are not that sorted that they can support that category at scale. So, as a brand, again, like depending upon my financial condition, how much I want to spend and how much I am betting on that category, it might not make economic sense at this point of time for some categories to be listed on quick commerce and to be pushed on quick commerce. But I would say, like, as those categories grow, there will definitely be players who will dominate those categories. So then I have to take an informed decision, like if I'm willing to spend that money on that bet that potentially in the future I'll be taking a significant share of that category. But at this point of time, if I am a small brand, it might not make complete sense for me to support that on quick commerce. But maybe my decision in that case can be just to observe from the outside, like how that category is changing over time, and then decide the right time for me as a brand, as as per my financials, my economic condition ki, when I want to enter the category.
Got it. Any categories you want to name, or if someone is deciding, because I divide into two. One is repeatable, the product which consumer needs daily or every month, and one is second. It could be any like charger, mobile, or lunchbox, which is required actually once in a year.
Correct. So I would say, like, in general, because we have been working with a lot of brands, we are working with, would not be able to name the brand, but we are working with a brand in the mobile cases category.
Got it.
For them, they tried out quick commerce. It didn't work out that well. in
Got it.
terms of it didn't make economic sense for them to continue with quick commerce. Eventually, they figured out two, three hero products that they ended up continuing on quick commerce. But in terms of the assortment and their expectation in terms of the scale, maybe quick commerce didn't fulfill that for them at this scale.
Got it.
So
Got
I
it.
would say like there are these categories wherein we have to just watch and see the right time to enter these categories as a brand.
Got it. So, if any one learning or insight you want to share, was that not fast movable category, more and more capital was getting blocked? If any insight you want to share from this experience?
Yes. So let's say like if we are talking about categories which require a lot of variants, a lot of color
Variant.
variants for a
Okay.
particular SKU. And
Mhm.
let's say if you're exploring a model like a seller hub model on Blinkit, wherein you
Mhm.
have to pay rental cost for every single day that inventory is sitting. And
True.
as the time, the time of that inventory sitting idle increases, then the rental increases, right? So in that case, if the inventory movement is not that fast in some regions, if the customer demand is not that much for that kind of a product, becomes a blocker.
Got it. Perfect. No, I completely get it. Variance, and that's why I think even in fashion, the inner wear has picked up because वहाँ पे variants की जरूरत नहीं है. Underwear, handkerchiefs,
Yeah.
and that's why women fashion on quick commerce in 10 minutes will really have a hard time. Myntra, I think, has already started. In Bangalore, I think order usually, though within 60 minutes is still that adjustable. But
Hmm.
anything in 10 to 15 minutes in my nearest dark stores, I think with a lot of
Hmm.
variations,
Hmm.
completely with you. I think with a lot of variations or anywhere, I think वो category ही उतनी repeatable नहीं है. If you might
Hmm.
agree on that same.
Yeah.
Got it.
Hmm.
Now next thing, अभी सब होड़ में लगे हैं. I think कि क्विक कॉमर्स पे ऑनबोर्ड होना है, स्टार्ट करना है, किसी भी एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे एंट्री मिल जाए विदाउट एक्चुअली थिंकिंग कि वो मेरे लिए इकोनॉमिकली वाइबल है कि नहीं है. What's the number one reason you feel brands are getting failed on quick commerce in the first 90 days?
I would say like when you're getting listed on quick commerce, some very important decisions that are often underestimated is the assortment selection, what I want to push first on quick commerce, then the region selection, like in which region I want to push my products. And I already touched upon that earlier as well. The platform selection, what platform is right for me as per the city I'm choosing and the assortment I'm choosing and how that category is performing on that platform. And I would say like the biggest mistake a brand would make when they are approaching quick commerce is just think of quick commerce as a platform like Amazon, right?
Okay.
Ki, on Amazon, if I'm just pushing it on those 4 warehouses, I'm done. Quick commerce is a very operational intensive channel
Right.
wherein my availability team needs to make sure that all my POs are fulfilled on time, not
Got it.
just in a first in first out manner, but in the sense that my availability on the pod is not impacted due to delays in my PO fulfillment. So my supply chain team needs to be on track. The distribution from warehouse to dark stores need to happen on time, and I need to follow up with category managers to make sure that that's happening. So essentially, my on shelf availability for my customers is sorted. Then my pricing strategies hyper local and competitive in every location in India. Again, can vary for different categories, depends on the category in which I am operating, but my pricing strategy needs to be well thought and needs to be very hyper local. My organic and ad visibility strategy needs to be very proper. So, for
Got it.
example, if my inventory count in a certain location is not that much, then it doesn't make any sense for me to push ads in that location because ads will just
Absolutely.
end up jeopardizing my organic sales. I'll see a
Correct.
good ROAS on the ad panel, but it won't add that incremental value in terms of the revenue I'm getting from ads.
Got
So
it.
I think it's overall a very operational heavy game wherein all things are related to each other. And the biggest mistake I would make as a brand is treat it lightly like an Amazon.
Got it.
I'll end up, losing a lot of money if I treat it like that.
Got it. One interesting angle which you already, I think, picked up was ad versus organic. So now I think for any D2C brand, and which we've been observing from the last 2 years as well, to grow their sales being dependent on platform, gone are those days. Even when we talk about Amazon, Flipkart, we keep saying them that आपको बाहर से traffic लेके आना पड़ेगा. You'll have to have a very strong game on social media if you want to even build your brand on Amazon as well. Today, there are a lot of speculations, confusions around this part on quick commerce. So my question here is how to build the organic share on these quick commerce channels.
So, so definitely, quick commerce even right now is a demand fulfillment platform, as I mentioned. It's not a demand generation platform. Although I do think that over time that will change. Many
Right.
brands will organically be built just on quick commerce because they will be successful in identifying those micro categories wherein people are looking for stuff but not getting that. But I would say broadly, apart from your social media strategy or branding strategy outside of quick commerce, algorithms do prioritize SKUs wherein availability is predictable, wherein SKUs are continuously
Okay.
available in a certain location. Let's say if someone is searching for ice cream, and if a particular brand of ice cream is always available in that location, then algorithms will prioritize that over products with unpredictable availability. So,
Got it.
as a brand, I would try to maintain predictability in terms of availability,
Okay.
so that over time algorithms start pushing my products organically on those keywords.
Got it. Perfect. Now, point of ads. Running ads on Amazon is different. Running ads on Blinkit is different. Zepto. When we started running ads on quick commerce in January, we ran for 2 months and we realized the way we are running ads on Amazon won't be the way you're running ads on Blinkit, Zepto.
Yeah.
So we completely changed our strategy, built a lot of case studies, grew brands. So now my question is, which is very important again, इसके around भी बहुत speculations है, confusions है. You'll also agree the same. On platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, everyone tracks ROAS, though ROAS is not the correct metric. TACO, CTR, CPC, conversion rate is the main metric which takes you with a better organic share, tacos, best-selling rank. Is ROAS the success metric on quick commerce? If not, then what exactly is the success ad metric to track on quick commerce, which needs to be tracked daily or even regularly?
So very good question, right? And a lot of our brands do face these issues in tracking the incrementality of their ads.
Correct.
So ROAS is, just to be clear, like ROAS is a good metric in terms of just seeing your ad performance. But I do think that ROAS hides the incrementality of your ads. Like we have seen a lot of cases wherein a brand would just pause their campaigns for a stretch and their top line would not take a hit, right? So I would say like there is no single metric which can help you measure that, because it's in a platform's interest to show you a higher ROAS so that you are sort of pushed to spend more on ads, because you have that misconception that you are getting that top line push from ads. So I would say just to measure that incrementality, like different brands try different strategies. I say one strategy which some of our partner brands try is just A/B testing certain campaigns. Let's say like an A/B test which was successful with some of our partner brands was, I'll try running my same campaign on alternate days. So let's say there is an A/B test wherein MWF my campaign will run on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday it will not run, and maybe I'll try to measure that immediate push that some campaigns have. Maybe I'll try to compare my top line. Did my top line change when I didn't run the campaign? So what is the actual organic impact? What is the actual top line impact from that campaign? And if I pause it, does my top line actually take a hit? Another thing that brands would do is measure their organic SOV. If their organic SOV is already good on some keywords, then your paid ads are just going to take credit from that organic SOV. So essentially not getting that incrementality after running paid ads where your organic SOV is already good.
Got it. Interesting part, right? To I think deep dive more into this, because these quick commerce have come up with that point of running on alternate days, running at specific point of time, which Amazon, Flipkart never had that, as for different geography. So now all the bigger brands can maybe afford this, but when a brand has just entered, or it's been like a month, 2 months, or 3 months on the platform, would you suggest them to do the same? Because they are still on that discovery or awareness stage. They are still unlocking more and more cities and more dark stores as well. So would you suggest these experiments ki yaar, if their product is related to more FMCG and all, run towards more towards the weekend, run at night, don't run on the entire day. Would you suggest the same strategy to the brands within the first 90 days?
So I would say that's super important for brands to do that, especially in the early period when platforms are pressurizing you to spend more
Got
on
it.
ads, especially when you're an early brand.
Got
For
it.
incumbents, they might not get that push from the platforms. You have to spend on ads. And if I
Hmm.
am an early brand, if I'm getting that push from the platforms, then I might as well figure out the best way to get the ROI from those spends,
Got
right?
it.
So, so yeah, like, and that's the advantage that I, as a young brand, have, right? Like,
Hmm.
unlike incumbents, wherein incumbents will take time to adopt these data driven strategies, I have that edge. I can
Do it much faster.
optimize, yeah, do it much faster.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, there's one problem which we've already been seeing with Amazon, the rising cost per click. We are seeing the same across these platforms as well. A year back, where I could see the CPM of 200, 300, 500, I'm now seeing somewhere close to 3,000 or 4,000 as well. Now,
Hmm.
you being interacting with small, medium, all the marquee brands every day, sitting day in and day out on quick commerce, running a tool, what do you suggest to the brands who are dealing with this कि अब 4,000 suggested CPM है वहां पे, what should a brand do at that point of time?
I mean, like, I'll maybe try to structure it in two parts.
Okay,
First is the eventual goal for me as a brand is to get my customers through ads and then build a solid retention, right?
got
So
it.
that's the holy grail. If I am spending on ads, then yeah, like, I have to figure out that perfect mix of my MVP, my CPMs, and the kind of ROAS and incrementality I'm getting on the keyword. So I think it's all playing in that mix and just making sure that I'm not overspending on a CPM. If a CPM of 400 is enough for me to get that incrementality and that ROAS, then maybe spending on the suggested range is not necessary for me as a brand. So I need to,
Got it.
yeah,
But usually, if they are suggesting, that's where spends are happening. 4,000 suggested, if I keep 500, hardly spends will happen.
right. Well, we have seen these cases, Sunny, wherein, like, even if you keep your CPMs lower than that of the suggested
Hmm.
CPMs, you will get your a very healthy ROAS. Your spends will also be exhausted depending upon the budget
Budget,
for
yeah.
that campaign, and you will get a good rank. So yeah, I would try
Got it.
to maybe think beyond those algorithms.
Got it. Uh, when you said a point that my goal would be to get more and more customers through ads and think on how to build on retention, we see a lot of post videos regarding customer retention on Amazon. Amazon gives a lot of data. There are points like subscribe and save, through which the customer gets retained automatically on platforms like Amazon. So my point, especially on quick commerce, is which is still on that early stage because brands have just entered. Most of the brands have just entered in 2025. So I think in 2026, they will talk and think more regarding this point of customer retention as well. So how to retain customers on quick commerce? If there is a way, please feel free to shed light on that.
Yes, I think retention goes a lot on the type of product and what is the customer love on your product. So I'll not touch on that part because that is something
Mhm.
that brands have to solve.
Correct.
So apart from that, I think on quick commerce, the switching cost for a customer is not that high. Like, if a
Right.
customer is trying to solve a problem, let's say I'm looking for an ice cream, 0 calorie ice cream, or a zero sugar ice cream, and if Go Zero is not available, then I'm willing to consider other options at that point of time.
Got it.
And this behavior might be different for different categories. But since quick commerce is impulse buying by design, a customer can switch to a different product if because they need it in 10 minutes, right? So if your uh, product is solid, backed by your solid execution strategy, wherein you are available, wherein a customer is looking for to solving a particular problem, then I think that is something we can work on.
I think all boils down to availability.
Yeah, availability, pricing, overall visibility of my products. which will be eventually solved by availability. Like if I'm available, then platforms will push organically. So yeah, all of it is sort of linked.
Got it. One thing which I'm seeing brands are doing, and you might be the better person to answer here whether this is the right thing to do or not. When you get onboarded on these platforms, you start with few cities, considering that you are somewhere between small to mid size, 2 cities, 3 cities, or maybe 4 cities with limited amount of inventory. So at this point of time, now when they have discussions with the platform, there are two things. Either they go full swing on these main cities, Mumbai, Delhi, Gurgaon, Bangalore, or these platform, what they do, they again expand themselves in more and more cities. So the point is, as for you, it's better to be fully available in the 5 metro cities in India, or it is better to be thoda spreadly available in 20 cities in India.
So I would say, like, again, depends. Let me take that one. So different categories might have different strategies. So let's say,
Mhm.
like, if we are working with, so we are working with an Atta brand in UP. Their core
Got it.
focus is just the UP market for Atta
Mm.
category, and they're
Okay.
the market leaders in that market.
Got it.
So your category strategy might be different depending upon the category in which you are operating. But I would say that platform's algorithm will prioritize me better in a given location if I am fully available in that location. If my
All right.
availability is not predictable, then I think
Hmm.
I'll not be prioritized. But if, let's say, my plan is to start with only South Bombay, a certain part of Bombay, and I'm making sure that I'm fully available in that region, then I think that will work. But it's completely subjective, Sunny. Like, depends on the category.
Got it. Recently I saw your, I think, LinkedIn post with the team of Super U as well. So just wanted to understand when they started working with you, uh, how did you help them to scale in terms of insights, in terms of experiences? I know their brand value plays a huge role of
Yeah.
the founder Nikunj and even Ranveer Singh as well. So
Yeah.
maybe of Super U or any other brand, if you want to discuss as a case study, how the things, what all were the problems and how did you solve them, which took them better in the growth graph?
I mean, all credit goes to their team for, first of all, launching a solid product with the right marketing. And as you mentioned, from Nikunj Biani's pedigree to Ranveer Singh's
Mm,
marketing angle. So I think it
mm,
was a solid product from day one with a solid customer love and customer retention, powered by a very solid execution in terms of choosing the right price point, right discounting strategy for quick commerce
okay,
platforms. First of all, choosing the right platform. They started with Blinkit and
got it.
scaled significantly on Blinkit. Uh, Again, like choosing the right pricing strategy, choosing the right locations. Like, just imagine, like, over the last 12 months, they have grown from 0 to 17 crore MRR as per the public numbers.
Mm,
And when you are growing at that scale, unlike any growth story seen in India before, you have to plan, you have to be very proactive in terms of planning your inventory.
right,
I have to anticipate the demand in the next 2 months and plan that in advance in order to make sure that I'm available at all the right dark stores and the right cities in India. So I think that right inventory planning, that solid supply chain execution, powered by their pricing strategy, their ad strategy, I think all kudos to their quick commerce team on that.
got it, noted.
Yeah.
Now, I think maybe the most important question, what is the 30, 60, 90-day growth framework for these quick commerce channels for D2C brands who have just entered or onboarded?
So I would say I would start with choosing the right product.
Got it.
As I mentioned before, the right
Mm,
product, the right city, the right
mm,
channel to start
mm,
with.
mm.
And then I'll try to nail down my pricing, my availability, all the basics: pricing, availability, visibility. uh, Once my availability is sorted, then maybe start pushing on visibility, start pushing on ads. And yeah, like, that's how I'll sort of over time build my organic visibility as a brand.
Got it. 2 points wanted to ask. One, when you mentioned on pricing, so brands would have different strategies. They some on some days they might go lower than e-com channels. I'm saying Amazon or Flipkart. On some days they might be equal. On some days they might be greater than that as well. So what is the correct pricing strategy here when you are, I think you've already talked about pricing 7, 8 times. So just wanted you to shed your light on this when the brands are starting or launching a newer SKU. They've decided that these are the right SKUs, these are the right platforms, these are the right cities. Now, when they're starting with the pricing, you can say that, Sunny, nothing to think. They start with the pricing what's available on Amazon, or if not, then what should be their pricing strategy in that?
So again, like a lot of factors to at play here. First
Mm,
is my own unit economics of each product that I'm trying to push. Then, do I want to maintain a consistent pricing as a brand? Is that a priority for me? So considering all of that, plus what is the competition intensity in the region in which I'm trying to push my product, and the category in which I am playing. So for example,
got
we are working with a soft drink brand, and due to some operational issue, their intended price was 29 rupees, and due to some issues, Zepto made it 30. And for
okay.
that 4 day stretch, they had a 20% drop in their top line just because of
Okay.
that
Just for
operational
one
gap.
rupee.
Yeah, just for 1 rupee. So, depending upon the category and how price sensitive that category is, I think I would need to consider all those factors before making a decision.
Got it. My next very important question would be, what are the operational challenges which D2C brands face and how do they solve them? You can maybe talk about the top three.
So, depends on the model, first of all. Like, let's say if I
Mm,
am on a seller hub model,
mm,
then not anticipating demand correctly will
got it.
just lead to my inventory sitting idle in
Perfect.
a particular warehouse, me
Mm,
paying the rental for that inventory, and then
got it.
I'll be sort of facing an RTV, return to vendor, for that inventory. And that's a
Got it.
clear loss for me. So
Mm,
operationally, I need to be very proactive in planning and anticipating the customer demand for my products in every location, and then just making sure that I'm available in all the touch points, and not just stopping at fulfilling my POs. First of all, fulfilling all the POs as well. Ki am I first of all getting the POs on time? Then is my internal operation sorted to fulfill that PO at the right time, so that considering my TAT from my warehouse to Blinkit warehouse to Blinkit's dark store, will my inventory reach the dark store to the customer on time as per my internal processes? So I need to sort of be aware of all of that and plan those things in advance.
Everyone wants to know today, is quick commerce profitable? Will quick commerce be profitable for D2C brands? Because 2025 it was a lot of about burning, onboarding, facing a lot of losses. I know you've already talked about the talk on these, think on those 4 points: availability, selection, predictability, and all. But everyone wants to know, Amazon was still, I think, profitable for a lot of brands. That's why it became bigger. And we
Uh,
got to see brands like Boat, Noise, or Mama Earth. And that's why Amazon became much more famous as well. Quick commerce
uh,
is yet to see a lot of these brands because the model is fairly new. Uh, Picked up really well, I think 23, 24. जब grow first था तो no one hardly was talking about. But then Zepto entered, came up with this 10-minute
yeah.
delivery model, and then everything got revolutionized. So again, do you also feel the same that yes, quick com specific D2C brands will definitely come in future? And second, is quick commerce economically viable or will be profitable for D2C brands?
So to answer your first question, definitely, whenever there is a disruption in the market, right? Like there will definitely be brands created by that disruption. We saw brands like Mamaearth, Goat, Atomberg being created on Amazon, and definitely we are already seeing a lot of brands which are building up very well on quick commerce, like Super U
Yeah.
that you mentioned. And we definitely believe that a lot of brands, specifically in these categories, will be created on quick commerce. So that is for sure going to happen. Profitability is definitely a major problem for all the brands selling right now, especially because there is not a lot of money on the table when you look
Hmm.
at the unit economics of these platforms. So by design, two of these platforms are public. Zepto is planning to go public. There
Hmm.
is a profitability push from these platforms, and by design they will push for higher commission structures and more ad spend, especially from newer D2C brands who are planning to enter a category. So I think that push will always be there. As a brand, what I can do is I can try to sort of with operational excellence, just making sure that my the RTVs are less, my ad spends are adding to the incremental revenue the most. I think by these and by overall operational excellence in terms of managing my availability across all the relevant locations, I think that's how I can solve for it.
Last thing, if you want to add anything more, I think about the tool which you are building up, which is Decluttr, any case study, any, I think you can talk about Sunny. You are open to take the name, not take the name, that they came up in these one or two categories. That was their stage, that was their problem. And how did you solve them that took them to the next level? And especially for brands who are not well known in the market, because the brands who are actually well known, उनके लिए इतना difficult नहीं है to unlock quick commerce as a platform.
Correct. So just to tell you in brief about the platform, it's an intelligence platform that different brands like SuperU, Blue Tokai, all these brands in different categories, Cycle, Open Secret, they all use this platform to solve different problems that they face on quick commerce. These problems can range from just understanding where they stand in the market, what's their market share, where are the availability gaps, where are the visibility gaps, where are the pricing gaps. They also get an automation platform to just execute a lot of ad campaigns, changes in their ads, and those ads can talk to your availability, visibility, and pricing. So yeah, like that's the overall platform. And yeah, like we have been working with all these brands. They have seen significant growth in
Got it.
just a few months of using the platform.
Got it. Now, one more thing. At what stage should a brand think about taking these tools? Because initially, when they start, they're starting with a zero revenue. Do you feel that, Sunny, first they should understand about the platform for a month or two? Then they should take off thinking of these tools. And second, when they are planning to think of a tool, why Decluttr? Why not any other tool?
So definitely, like we are working. Initially, we were working with most of our customers were already selling at a given scale on these quick commerce platforms. But
Got it.
now, the way we have designed the platform, we are very interested in new brands who are just planning to enter the categories, planning to sell on these platforms. Try to use the platform just to understand what's already working on the platforms. What does the overall market look like in every location? And what's the demand from the customer POV? So I do believe that if I am a brand and if I'm very confident that quick commerce will be an important channel for me, then I think that's the only edge that I have, especially when I'm trying to get listed on these platforms. I can use the data, I can be very data backed to make sure that I sort of find my place in the market and dominate a micro category.
Thanks for giving your time. And if someone interested to take Declutter through this video, I hope you'll pass on some benefit to those users. I hope the expectations through which we started this should have been fulfilled for the audience and for the viewers as well. Thanks for all the insights on all the departments. I think we've covered everything for quick commerce. Maybe this could be a basic crash course of anyone entering, onboarding, or still live on quick commerce, the mistakes, the growth framework. Thank you so much for giving your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.